I'm going to show you my secret technique to learn vocabulary and grammar and also improve your speaking fast in any language. It's this revolutionary concept called paper that I use, and it's basically a list of sentences. If you look at it closely, yeah, it's a long list of sentences. There are around 30 pages here, both sides. So yeah, a lot of sentences, thousands of sentences, and it contains my language islands, all the situations, conversations, topics, all my stories, all the things I normally talk about, and everything I normally say in those interactions, situations, conversation topics. And everything I like to be able to say, it's there, it's in the list. That's all on the list, first of all. Yeah. So first of all, it's got that. It's got all my language islands. That way I can improve my speaking fast. Then it's got um, uh, 10 or 12 example sentences of every important grammar point: past, present, future, comparing things, uh, conditionals like if it rains, we will not go, all that stuff, everything that's all the grammar. But it's not called grammar. There's no reference to grammar there. It's just a long list of sentences that include examples, plenty of examples of every piece of grammar in the language. So if you learn those sentences, you know all the grammar. And finally, it also has lots of random vocabulary, all the common words, thousands of common words in example sentences. So in total, around 10,000 sentences here between my language islands, so the stuff I want to say, plus all the common vocabulary, all the verbs, all the adjectives, and all the grammar, all condensed into one list with example sentences of everything. So you just have to learn that. What I do is, and it's a long list, right? Like 50, 60 pages. Is it crazy to say that you can learn this in 3 months? Of course not. Yeah, if you work on it every day, you can learn 50, 60 pages in 3 months or much less. You can do it in a month if you work full time on it. So how to do it? Well, the first thing you should do is create an audio file of it and start listening to it, binge listen to it. Yeah, it's much better to listen to this daily than to random stuff, because these are the sentences that you've been preparing, that you want to say, and also the sentences you're going to be seeing again and again, so that you learn them really well. It's much better to learn 10,000 sentences really well, if they are the right sentences. But you learn 10,000 sentences really well with lots of reps for each sentence. Yeah, you see the same sentences over and over again, like for a few weeks. That's much more effective than just random exposure to the language. Because with random exposure to the language, it's going to be much harder to understand anything. But with this, after a few times of reading it and listening to it, you will understand a lot. And if you keep, and this is the important part, if you keep reading them, listening to them, yeah, just reviewing them, not only will you recognize all the words and you understand everything, you will also add them all to your active vocabulary. So you will actually be able to use them yourself in conversation. Um, but first, you need to obviously be able to understand it, right? So if this is a long list, and you read all these words, and if you don't know most of the vocabulary, it's going to be very very hard. It doesn't matter how many times you read it. It's going to be, first of all, very hard to read and very slow. So, and then you have to remember them as well. So first you need to learn the vocab. Again, memorize them with associations. The first round, I read the whole document from start to finish, and I associate all the new words. Look at the English translation, see what they mean, and I create associations. This is the longest I read the whole thing at least 10 times, but the first time takes by far the most time because yeah, I have to stop and memorize all the words. The second and third times, I still have to memorize some words because I won't remember everything the first time. Yeah, because it's a lot of words, obviously. But once I've read it and memorized the vocal once, second time is going to be much easier, especially if I'm listening to the list as well regularly. And third time is going to be way easier. And by the 10th time that I'm reading it, it's going to be piece of cake. Basically, there'll be some words here and there that I don't remember, but I'll know almost everything. And then we get to the active part, retrieval practice. How do we do this? Well, you create Anki flashcards, and you should get the English version first, and then try to say it in the target language after listening to them and reading them and memorizing the vocabulary and going through the list many times. We start doing this. Um, I mean, you could start doing this day one. I've done it before, but it's not. It's very hard. It's still effective. It will make you speak better, but it's very hard. But yeah, basically, flashcards, you get English first, try to say it aloud in the target language, check, got it wrong, you repeat it aloud correctly, next one, next one, next one. You do it with hundreds of sentences a day. You could start doing this from day one. There's no reason why not. It's going to be very hard, but if you keep doing it, if you can't push yourself, your speaking will improve fast. And this is it basically. You learn the whole list. Uh, Thousands of words, thousands of sentences, all the useful sentences that you want to be able to say, all the grammar, all the vocabulary. And in a matter of weeks, like 4 to 12 weeks, depending on how much time you dedicate to it daily, but 3 hours a day, I guarantee that in a month, you'll be amazed by how good your Spanish or whatever language you learning is if you do this. Again, memorize at least 100 new words a day, listen to it all the time, read it, and retrieval practice. This is my secret technique: piece of paper, list of sentences, grammar, vocabulary, and language islands. Anyway, if you want access to this list, there's a free trial version in natural language learning that you can use. Actually, you can get pretty good just with that, just with the free version. The link is in the description. But if you want the whole thing, just go try it for a month if you want. I guarantee that if you do it in a disciplined manner, all these exercises that I just described using the lists, the language islands, the grammar lists, the vocabulary lists, you'll get very good at both understanding and also speaking the language fast. Okay? Anyway, see you later. Give it a like, subscribe, and all that.